Hi everybody, it's Christina from Card Making Magic. So I wanted to share with you this brand new collection from Card Making Magic. This is the perfect panels and lovely layers. So let me take you bit by bit through what's in this set. So the first thing we've got is the rectangular piece. Then we have the triangles. And all these make beautiful layers for you that you can add to your card. So in this one you've got your panels in 3 different sizes. There you've got your triangles, there you've got your circles, your semicircles and your quarters, and on this one you have the squares. All make beautiful delicate panels for you to add to your cards. Then we have the stamps. And these stamps coordinate very well with the dies that are underneath them. Then we've also got the filigree flowers, the filigree fancy die, and some beautiful words that you can add to your cards. Now the last part to this set is the embossing folders, and these are like templates for you to put into your card and to layer up how you wish with the dies underneath. Now these dies and embossing folders are all matched together so that you can use them on any of the complete card and box die sets that are also with Card Making Magic. So this one for instance would fit a 5x7, it would fit an A2, it will also fit a 6x6, and these are designed to work together. So for the first video I'm going to be using the lovely layers with the rectangulars, and I'm going to be using the rectangular embossing folder, and in there we'll add some words to the top to identify what occasion our card is for. So for my card today I'm going to be using 2 shades of yellow, which is not a colour that I use very often, and we're going to team it with some white, and this is the kind of look that we're aiming for with our make. And because there's lots of depth on this card, it's going to need a box. So we'll use the 5x7 complete card and box die set to go with this design. So the first thing we're going to do is our die cutting with the complete card and box die set. So we're going to take the largest die, which is the box die, and you will need an A4 cutting platform to cut this. We're going to cut that twice, and that will be our box. And then from the card element to the die set, we're going to take a piece of A4 card and fold it in half. And we're going to put the non-cutting edge over the open ends. Now once you've cut that, that will cut the other 3 sides, and that will give you 2 pieces of card that you're going to join at the top to create a tentfold card. So once you have your card, you're going to create another panel that is 5x7, and this one you're going to put inside the embossing folder and run that through your machine, and that will give you the template that you need to set out your card. So once you've done that with the embossing folder, you can, if you wish, just trim the edges along the top of that panel, and that will make it then just slightly smaller than the front of your card. So there's my panel trimmed down. Now basically all I've done is follow this outer edge there, and I've trimmed the card down to that line, and then that will give me a nice little panel that will sit on the top of my card. So this then is your foundation to create your card. So you can have this panel on either side, whichever way you decide to do it. So now this is the die set that we're going to use, and to understand this die set you need to look at it very carefully, because each of the outer edges, the plain ones, they only have 3 cutting sides. So you've got 1 non-cutting side. Now what that means is that when you lay that die on your card, it will only cut 3 sides, and we'll leave the other side there for you to create like a little door with. Of course, now that you've done that, you can place the other panel in your card and cut that out, and that then will stay within your card. So I'll just cut that and then I can show you what I mean. So we've put that through the die cutting machine, and now we'll just remove it. And there you have the pattern in the card. Get all the little bits out. And there you have that pattern sat in your card, and you can decorate the rest of it now however you wish. But should you want to cut that pattern out of the card, then you would need to use one of the other dies that has the 4 cutting sides. And on this you've got a plain one, you have a scalloped one, and you have a stitched one. Now these two are slightly different, so they will create the layers for you. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So by using the one with the scalloped edge, I've created these panels. And then by using the one with the stitched edge, I've created that panel. I've also added the filigree die, the detailed die, to the panel, and that will give me this. So this is the pattern cut out of the card, that is the pattern kept in the card, and these then will layer up however you want them. So you can add the detailed panel to the scalloped one, you can add the plain stitched one to the scalloped one, you can add the patterned one behind this. You have several choices of how you want to create your design, and there's no measuring at all. It's all done in easy steps through your die cutting machine using the dies. The only thing you need to remember is that one of these has a non-cutting edge, and that's the one that keeps it in your card. The other one that is plain has all 4 cutting edges, and that will cut the panel out of your card. So let's get back to making the card. We've got 2 shades of lemon, so with this one I'm going to cut the scalloped edge with the darker one, and then with the stitched one I'm going to cut another layer in white. So I've cut my panels, one in yellow, one in white, but I've also cut one in a paler yellow, and I think I might use that one instead, and that's going to sit on my card. So let's come back to this panel now and work with this, and this is the one that was done in the embossing folder. So now on the embossed panel, your little area to emboss or to put your pattern in is all laid out for you. So I'm going to use this, it's like a Rennie Mackintosh design. So I'm going to put that in there and tape that in place so it can't move, and I'm going to run that through the die cutting machine. So once I've done this, this is the pattern that I have in my card. So that is using this detailed die without the outer edges, and that will cut into your card. So now we can add this to this, but I think that looks just a little bit too plain. So what I've done is I've created another mat, and I've cut this by hand, and that's now going to sit there on the front of the card, and that will leave just a small border of both the white and the yellow around that design. Now I'm going to add this with some foam tape underneath it. So I've added my foam tape to the back, and I'm going to put this onto that yellow layer, and that will give a really nice effect through the card. So you need to make sure that it's all lined up nice and neatly with just that small border around the edge. There we go. And then you can decide which way around you want this on your base card. Do you want it that side or do you want it that side? Now with this one I've put it on the left, so I think with this one we'll place it on the right. So I've decided to go with the white one, and I'm going to add this with some flat glue to the yellow panel, and we'll make sure that that's lined up nice and level in the middle. And then with foam tape I'm going to add this to this side of the card, and then all those can be added to the base card, and then we'll start to dress it. So now once we have this in place, we can decide what we're going to decorate our card with. Now on the other card I did my design, my flowers, asymmetrical, so they're not balanced, they're heavy at the top and it narrows down as you come towards the bottom. But on this one I think we'll do a symmetrical one. And in my stash I just happened to have found some ivy leaves which were cut from Foamy-Ran. So we'll place those in the middle. I like to cut the stems down on my flowers so that they will fit on my card, and we'll add in these designs along here. Now I always have a dry run first just to make sure that everything goes where I would like it to go, and then when I'm happy with it all I can then glue things in place and know that that will be a beautiful design on my card. So I think that's perfect, that looks fine there, and it will of course stay in place once it's been glued. So I'm going to go away and glue these in, and I'll be back when I've done that. For my box I'm going to use the same panel, and I'm going to put it on the opposite side of the panel on the card. So I'm adding it on the left hand side so that the flowers will show through the panel. So we'll just cut this now through the die cutting machine. Now once you've got that put inside your design, you need some really strong double-sided tape, and this is red liner tape. So I'm just going to put this all around the edge of my design, and then I'm going to add an acetate panel just to cover up that panel. And once you've got that tape in place, you can then add your panel, your little acetate sheet there. So this is now the front of your box. So all you're going to do now is just fold in all these score lines. Now if you find that your acetate hasn't covered all of your red liner tape and it's still a bit sticky, then just go over it with some talcum powder or your anti-static bag. That will take away the stickiness from around the edge, plus it makes it smell nice. And then when we're finished folding, we can pop this on one side while we deal with the back part to the box. So we're going to fold these in exactly the same way, and then before we get to the top we're going to remove all these pieces. So we're going to take these out of the way. Now you can use a paper trimmer if you wish. We're going to take those out of the way, and we're going to take these little flaps off the bottom. So now you've got two pieces to your box that will look like this. So there's your front, and there's your back. Now I want to add my glue along this panel here, which is the piece that's within the tabs and up to that fold. And for this I'm using a wet glue. So I'm going to lay that one on the top and there along the bottom, and then we're going to make sure that these are level along there, and we'll make sure that that's glued in place. And then we'll come over to this side and we'll add some glue along this one. Now the easiest thing to do is to fold that flap in and fold this up to meet the other side, and then you can just line those up and make sure that that's glued in place. Make sure everything's level. So now all we have to do is push in these tabs and fold that one down, and this now makes sure that all the workings are on the back of your box. The front is nice and neat. So we'll fasten that down, make sure it's nice and tidy. And there we have a beautiful box for our card. And once we add the card inside, the flowers will be visible through the acetate. So you can add your sentiment on the front of that box, you can tie it with some ribbon if you wish, you can put a bow on it, you could even dress it up with more flowers. It's entirely up to you, but that is a beautiful box to give to somebody for a birthday, a wedding, an anniversary, whatever reason you wish. So there we have two beautiful cards complete with their own boxes that would be perfect for any occasion. And to get this look, I've used the Perfect Panels and Lovely Layers collection die set, and this is the rectangular one. I've teamed it with the rectangular embossing folder, and I've added words from the Ultimate Words die set, and I've created the box and the card base from the 5x7 complete card and box die set. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you have, please join me on the next one, and I'll see you again soon. And please click the subscription box and the notification bell so that you'll always be notified when I add a new video. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.